Hello and welcome inside the Memorial Coliseum. Tonight, the home opener for IPFW's men's basketball team, the Crusaders of Valparaiso, come into the Coliseum. Tommy Schegler along with Ryan Elijah. You might recognize Ryan as our morning anchor on Indiana's News Center. He also is going into his third year as a high school basketball coach. And let's talk a little Mastodons. They took a hard one on Friday night, 92-49 in the opener of the season to Notre Dame.
Well, I can tell you, Tommy, it's been a very long weekend for Dane Fife. He said they got beaten every phase of the game. When you talk about a 43-point loss, the worst they've ever had in Division I history, and they got 27% from the field. You get beat on the boards. You turn the ball over 10 times in the first half. He could go down the list, and for the players, they've had a couple of real long days of practice emphasizing that. Now, tonight they play a Valpo team that's only got one starter coming back, so a team that, on paper at least, they've got a little more experience than.
Good possible bounce back. We talked to Coach Fife yesterday. He said, as you mentioned, ratcheted it up a little bit in practice, and the one thing that he said, obviously they have to improve everywhere, but defensively on that side of the floor, they've got to get better.
Yeah, when you talk about Notre Dame, obviously a very good college basketball team, but when you give up 92 points, you're not going to win many basketball games. They let them shoot 54%. That's twice what IPFW shot. Obviously tonight they're going to have to play much better against a Valpo team that's pretty young underneath, but clearly they've got to get it done defensively, because when a coach gives up 92 like that, he was not happy at all.
And the Dons going through the process, as many teams in the country are right now, trying to meld new players in with returning players. They're going through that with 3 transfers from junior colleges right now, and not quite there yet, according to Coach Fife.
Yeah, it's a great way to build your program with JUCOs, but the problem is you've got to mesh everybody together. He's got 3 good seniors to build on, but you know his program's going to take a while to build, and we're only in really the second game of the year, so it's going to take a while for these guys to play together. But this is a team they feel like tonight they can get their first win against.
Well, we will see. We will have the starting lineups plus tip-off when we come back. You're listening, or you're watching IPFW basketball on MyTV.
Unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales. You're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
It's IPFW Mastodon Basketball, live from the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. Brought to you by College 5 Sports on My Network. Digital broadcast 33.2, Comcast 252.
IPFW set for the home opener against Valparaiso here at the Memorial Coliseum. Tommy Schegler and Ryan Elijah back with you here. We're going to go through the starting lineups here in tonight's matchup. We will start with the visiting Crusaders.
Tommy, surprisingly, Homer Drew's team is extremely inexperienced. They've got no seniors starting in the lineup tonight. It all starts with a guy they call the U, which is, and we might too by the end of the night, Urula Igbavoa. He had 15 boards and 15 rebounds in his opener. Now, obviously, that's a guy that played very well. Brandon McPherson's one of their guards. He'll start as well, starting with a guy they call Jake Diebler, who's a guard as well. You can see all 5 of these guys, none of them started last year. Also, Sean Huff at the forward, so clearly an inexperienced team on paper.
Yeah, we mentioned the fact that the inexperience for the Crusaders. The Dons have a mix of both. We go to their starting lineup, and it all starts with Chris Perkins at the point guard. He's the new one. He's running the show for Dane Fife, and it should be interesting to see how he starts to mesh with some of the other players, because all the rest of the players in the Dons starting lineup are returning players, and DeWitt Scott, Quentin Carruthers playing at the 2, and then DeWitt Scott, Justin Hawkins, and Tyler Best going to round out your starting 5. Dane Fife in his second year, starting in the early portions of his second year with IPFW. He's the youngest coach in America at 27 years old in Division I hoops. Guided the Dons to 10 wins last year, the most they've had since making the jump to Division I, and looking to build upon that tonight.
Against a coach tonight that is 9th all-time, of course, Bob Knight #1 in all-time wins, and Homer Drew. And clearly this is a team in Valpo that's 8-42 in their road openers. So they have not done well, but they did win last year on this home court in their opener.
Callum McLeod set to tip it off against Tyler Best in the center circle, and that one gonna be won by the Dons. Here's Perkins, and you will see him all night long. Dons swinging around left side to Carruthers, and now DeWitt Scott jumper on the way, won't go.
Valpo out in a man-to-man.
Here come the Crusaders for the first time tonight. McPherson running the point, although all of their guards can be interchangeable at the point guard. Igbavoa up top. Now they put it on the floor, looking down low, and they probably will try to go down low. Igbavoa get turn around.
That's what they want to do all night long.
Yeah, that's been the problem for the Dons. The inside interior defensive problems continue early on, and we're 2-0 Crusaders. So here's DeWitt Scott working. Carruthers couldn't get going the other night, and here's Hawkins from the corner, won't go. Tyler Best comes down with the rebound and steps on the line, so it's going to go back the other way.
We talked about the other night, they shot 27%, and obviously they're off to a bit of a cool start now, but it's early in the game.
So here come the Crusaders once again, scoring on their opening possession of the ball game. Igbavoa getting the ball down inside, and I'm sure they'll go to that again. Right side, working it around. You can tell, Ryan, they're just looking to try to get it down low. Here's McLeod from the foul line.
That's a shot they want them taking all night.
McLeod, taller than anyone else on the floor, stands at 7'1", that size that the Dons just don't have.
He had 18 points to lead him in their opening game. Of course, they're playing a little better squad than they started off with against Calumet College.
Dons still looking for their first bucket of the game. They go inside to Best. Best fadeaway over the long arms of McLeod, and they get it to go down, tying the game up. Here's Chris Perkins guarding McLeod, or McPherson, I should say, and McPherson called for the carry.
Dane Fife talked about keeping him out of the middle. They put too much pressure, Notre Dame did, on their inside guys, and so far they've done a good job of stopping McPherson from getting inside.
Also mentioned with the problems they've had defensively, we can expect to see a lot more pressure from the Dons tonight. We've yet to see that, but McPherson cut off, has to kick it out. Once again,
It's a
Diebler
good
now.
shooting team.
Diebler wide open.
That's a guy you don't want to leave open. I watched him in warm-ups.
So quick 5-2 lead now for the Crusaders. They get through the pressure to the Dons. Best puts it on the floor. And after re-corralling, Quentin Carruthers ends up with the open three-pointer. Ties this game back up. So here's Diebler. Down low. Should be interesting, this matchup. McLeod and Best. Best gets the best of it that time. And here comes the Dons. They want to push it up the floor off misses from Valpo. Carruthers up and under. Won't go. Nonetheless, though, I like to see the Dons moving the ball up the floor that quickly.
Yeah, neither team really getting much of a transition game so far. I think for Homer Drew, that's what they prefer.
Igbavoa working on Hawkins. Nice spin move. Kind of an erratic shot, though, forced by Hawkins. Good stay with it defense. Now Scott on the other end.
Good
Perkins.
ball movement.
Oh, can't get it to go. And once again, the shooting woes continue for the Dons in the early portions. Huff three on the way. And Quinn Carruthers just picked up his second personal foul in the first 3.5 minutes of this game. So that's going to force Dane Fife to the bench, and hopping off the bench, getting ready to check in, Pat Lepper.
Yeah, Tommy, one of 3 junior college players, and clearly that's how Dane Fife and a lot of young coaches have rebuilt their teams. You can get them in as juniors where they've got some experience, and Lepper's a guy they're counting on this year.
Huff to inbound it. Diebler thought about the 3. Now McLeod set up on Best.
He likes the little baby hook.
Called for a walk. It'll go the other way, and early on, I'd say, Ryan, that the defense has looked better for IPFW. It seems like the intensity is there.
Yeah, half-court defense have done a good job. They've held Valpo to 2 for 6, created 2 turnovers now.
McPherson comes out of the ball game, first substitution of the night for Valpo, and checking in is Jared Lloyd. He's the other guard. Lloyd, McPherson, Diebler, basically all interchangeable at the 1. And there is DeWitt Scott nailing, and then a foul away from the ball right after the make by DeWitt.
They're really excited about DeWitt Scott. Not only is he their best free throw shooter, Dane Fife said he worked on his all-around game. They knew he could shoot, but he's done so much things in the offseason, including defense and his quickness that he's worked on. And that's a guy that will see a lot of threes from behind the arc this year.
Dons with an early 3-point lead here. 4 minutes into this ball game. Wide open underneath. Huff, that's just an easy hoop.
Defensive breakdown on the back door.
Lepper let him go coming through the lane and just lost track of him as he came down out the back screen. Dons try to answer. Lepper. Here's DeWitt. Nice shot fake, but then loses it. So here's Lloyd. Lloyd into the lane. And once again, good defense by the Dons, and here they come the other way. Perkins wanted to get Lepper, couldn't get the shot off. Hawkins instead, no.
Well, he did a good job at the defensive end, and Dayton Fife will take that shot from him.
Yeah, they're getting good looks. I guess that's the most important thing at this point. Lloyd, the penetration, scoop, won't go. Both teams struggling from the floor early on. Don shooting just 33%. Valpo, the exact same thing. Both 3 of 9. So here's Perkins. Down to Best. Double team right away coming. That's going to leave an open man. It's Lepper. He can shoot it. Watching the transfer in practice over the last few weeks, this is a shooter that Dons fans are going to come to love because he can pop it. Huff. Down low. That's just too easy.
Yeah, they got to keep him out of the blocks. Lepper went to the same high school as Tim Tebow, the quarterback at University of Florida. And, you know, it's a football school, but he clearly can play some basketball.
So here are the Dons with a 1-point lead. And Scott hoists another 3. DeWitt somewhat cold.
Boy, with Igbavoa, you're not going to get many second looks on the offensive end.
Lob to McLeod, hoop and the harm. He draws the foul. And that's going to bring us to our first media timeout. Dons down by 1. 14 minutes, 11 seconds left to go in the first half. You're watching IPFW men's basketball here on my TV. We'll be back.
It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Back to the Coliseum. McLeod at the line for Valpo, trying to complete the old-fashioned three-point play, the 7-1 center for the Crusaders.
Yeah, Tommy, they're just getting the ball too low. I think that's one thing that Dane Fife was shaking his head at, that these guys like McLeod at 7-1, if you let him get it 3 feet away, he's going to score. And in that case, he's mad at the guard for not providing backside help. You know, you play someone in front, but you've got to have someone behind that's going to help you out.
Musa Mabai now takes the place of McLeod right after the made free throw. Mabai also a big guy, 6'9", so still some height in the middle for the Crusaders, and a steal by Lloyd.
Savely just off the bench. Fife said he provides a lot of energy.
Yeah, he is a spark plug off of the bench, but that time can get a little erratic out there. Here's Mabai, fadeaway. Good, that's a nice touch.
Much better defense.
So a 4-point lead now. Don's needing an answer. Should be interesting to see how the offense works in situations like this. Coach Fife telling us yesterday that in situations like this, they've had a tendency to just dump it down to Best. When we're in trouble, let's just get it to Tyler. And a hand check called on Lloyd out in front.
Well, if you notice, Valpo plays a very aggressive style of man-to-man. It's a team that's not going to give you a lot of open looks to the basket, and you would expect that from a coach that's been around for, say, 3 decades now. He can teach defense.
Jared Lloyd gets his first foul, also the first foul for Valpo tonight. So here's the Dons, and Best hands off to Savely. Savely, an open three, can't get it to go. Rebound Mabai. Need to stop here. Working it, still trying to get it to Igbavoa. They finally do, but they force the pass. Coming up with it is Savely. He's got a 1-on-2, pulls up, baby jumper is good.
That's a good pull-up jumper, and that's the kind of momentum he can give you off the bench.
So Don's cut the deficit to 2 at 14-12. 12:40 left to go here in the first half from the Coliseum. Home opener for the Dons, trying to bounce back from the season opening loss at Notre Dame on Friday night. And here is Huff working on Scott. Good defense, but gets it to Igbavoa, kind of a desperation pass.
Yeah, suddenly 10 points already of their 16 have come inside the paint, and you knew they were big inside, but they're not very experienced inside, but that doesn't always stop them.
Now, over and over again, Coach Fife saying to us that we've just been leaving our bigs hanging to dry. That's the problem on defense. Best gets swatted by a Huff as he spins right into a double team. And here's Huff on the other end. Mabai, the big guy.
You don't expect him to pull the trigger out there.
Line drive shot doesn't go. And here's Savely. Kind of a
tough shot.
Ill-advised shot, but at least he draws the foul. That foul going to go against Lloyd, his second, and that's also big for the Dons because now Lloyd, one of their key players, ends up with 2 fouls. We've reached another timeout. The Dons down 4 right now to Valpo. We'll be back with more IPFW action when we come back.
Need paper, pencils. We only ask that you do your best.
And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
First half here at the Coliseum. Kyle Savely at the line trying to cut into a 4-point lead for Valpo. Drops in the first one. Couple players we're going to see for the first time tonight. Zelko Egerick in the lineup for the Dons. He had a good game against Notre Dame.
He really did, Tom. He was the only guy in double figures, one of the few bright spots in South Bend.
Also, Jakari Johnson, a sophomore, is in there, and he will work in the backcourt with Savely. So it should be interesting to see what we see from Johnson. He's matched up on Deaver right now.
Now, there's that back door, and a great job by DeWitt Scott to get over. You know, you got to think about Savely. He's going to need some good minutes because we're only 9 minutes into this game, and Crothers has 2, which means the one thing Dane Fife doesn't want is to get his senior his 3rd foul in the first half.
Samuel Hoppe, also a new player just into the lineup for Homer Drew and the Crusaders. They're talking over some shot clock issues. The shot clock was reset there on that deflection out of bounds, so they're just trying to work that out right now. 14 on the shot clock, and now they've reset it to 25 again. So here's Hoppe to inbound it. Igbavoa working on Best. Best seems like he can keep up with him on the perimeter.
Both teams have stuck to their man-to-man so far. We've seen a little change of defense.
Mabai over Egerick, gets it to go off glass.
He's
Coach
got
Fife,
the green light.
Yeah, Coach Fife does not like that. He is upset with that defensive showing by Zelko underneath. Back up to a 4-point lead for the Crusaders.
Look.
And bottled up underneath the hoop was Egerick. And I believe they say the ball was just deflected. I thought there was going to be a foul call.
Real nice pass by Tyler Best.
Zelko didn't really look like he was quite ready for
No,
it.
I'm not sure he was ready for it.
So here's Tyler to inbound it. Gets it out up top to Johnson. Zone look from the Crusaders now.
Yeah, it's the first change we've seen.
Savely not even close on the 3-point attempt. Key part of the first half here. Down 6 or down 4. You don't want to go down 6. Igbavoa working on Egerick. Double team coming over, and that was well timed.
This is a very athletic front court for Valpo. Not only are they big, but they can move a lot. They're not catch and shoot type guys.
Best still trying to get going. Working on Mabai.
Oh, it's a good lookout right there.
One step over, and then a nice long 2.
That's what Dane Fife wants. Everybody claps us inside, and you find the open man outside.
Jakari Johnson, sophomore. Hoppe. Crusaders continue to just look down low. And now they get it inside. Igbavoa up and under Egerick. And really, Coach Fife getting on Zelko right now.
Yeah, it's
Homer Drew continues to mix in new players. Igbavoa and Mabai come out. McLeod back in there, and Huff just checks in for the Crusaders. So he's got some young guys, but he's got a nice little rotation going.
He does.
Right
He's
now.
playing 9 or 10 strong right now.
Lloyd comes back in, and he's got the 2 fouls, so we should keep an eye on him because the Dons might want to go after him.
Yeah, to show you how young this team is, Tommy, Lloyd's the only starter back from last year, and Homer told us beforehand he wasn't even a steady starter. So he really is playing with a whole fresh batch of players, but the last time they went to the NCAA tourney 3 years ago, 9 freshmen and sophomores, so you can't discount that.
Out of the chess game going on between the 2 coaches after the 2 players check in for the Crusaders. Perkins and Hawkins,
great job.
Fresh into the game, draws a charge.
That gets Coach Fife off the bench right there.
Justin Hawkins just does the little things. Can remember him all the way back when he played for Garrett, and you know he's always been one of those players that's just willing to do whatever it takes, and it's those little things that they need him to do down there, and he gets it done. So Don's still down 4, looking for a bucket. It's been a few minutes now.
Valpo's going back to the man-to-man.
Egerick, the rainbow 3.
Can hit the outside J as well.
That's a big shot because it pulls the Dons to within 1 now. We're at basically the midway point of the first half.
It's a lot smaller lineup than Valpo's showing tonight.
Diebler almost throws it away. Hoppe, great save. And
that's too bad because they played pretty good defense there, but sometimes you end up being in the right spot at the right time.
yeah, kind of a broken play that Diebler just was rewarded for. So here's Johnson. Been impressed, though, with how the Dons have bounced back. Eggerich again!
Feeling it.
Z, back-to-back threes, has this game tied at 22. And so now they go back to the defensive work on the other side. Huff coming off the screen. DeWitt had a nice little body bump and affected the shot, but still able to knock it down was Huff.
Yeah, Huff's got a pretty good touch out there, the 6'6" forward.
Valpo bench over here wanted a walk on Z right there, but the Dons throw it away. One of few turnovers by IPFW.
And they get it right back.
Right back. Here comes Perkins into the front court. Gives it up to DeWitt, and he wisely waits a little while the rest of the Dons get back. Oh, wide open there. Oh, and Perkins.
Problem is you're among trees.
Yep. Lloyd wanted an intentional foul call.
McLeod is so big in there at 7-1 that even though Perkins was able to get down low, he couldn't get the ball out of there.
Foul going to go against DeWitt Scott, his first for the Dons. Team's 5th overall. Check that. I believe that's the 6th team foul. No, it is the 5th. 15 foul. 8 minutes left to go. Dons down 2. We're in the first half of the home opener. A lot of optimism going into this year for the Dons. And Lepper going to be called for a hand check as Huff was backing down. So we've reached another timeout. Dons get a couple of nice threes from the big guy, Eggerich, right in there with the Crusaders, back-to-back, and threes by Z has the Dons in contention here, and we will be right back on my TV.
Pizza! I must eat. Wait, what is this? Capsicum annum, Agaricus bisporus, Allium cepa.
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man.
Funny.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
First half from the Coliseum, Tommy Schegler along with Ryan Elijah. We are here for IPFW's home opener against Valpo, and so far it's been a closely contested game. Hoppe, an air ball, and McLeod, a rebound underneath, and a quick foul down low. Gets Coach Fife off the bench.
You know, one thing he's got to be frustrated. Notre Dame shot 54% against him. Right now, even with that miss, Valpo shooting 55. So even though the Dons have played some decent defense at time, they still have got to get more stops on the defensive end.
Second foul called on Chris Perkins. And so now the Dons starting to get into a situation where they've got some foul concerns as McLeod drops in another free throw.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Quentin Carruthers till maybe the 3-4 minute mark. You know, being very conservative to keep him the whole second half.
This will be McLeod's 6th point and can't get it to go. Crusaders now in the bonus with 17 fouls. So here's Savely trying to answer. Don's down 3. They turn it over again. Last couple minutes, a lot of turnovers. Huff right down the middle. Savely a little too aggressive.
Savely for that one. Yeah, 6 turnovers now for the Dons. They had 10 in that first half against Notre Dame.
First foul on Kyle Savely. As we mentioned, bonus time. And here is Huff at the line. First one on the way and good. Rattles around.
Huff leading all scorers right now with 7 points for Valpo, who really have distributed things pretty well, as is IPFW to this point.
Guy's 100% from the line for the year.
You knew that was going to happen.
Of course, it was only 3 for 3 at that point.
He's dropped to 75%.
Yeah, quickly a 30-second timeout on the floor. Hawkins battling for that rebound. Wise timeout for the Dons. So
this is a Valpo team picked to be 4th in the MCC this year. They're coming off 3 wins. They actually beat Indiana Wesley in a regular exhibition game, and beat a school, Calumet College, who probably will not factor into the big dance later in the season. 84-65 in that one.
You know, it's been interesting to watch IPFW throughout the course of the first 12 minutes or so of this game. Just purely on the defensive end, I'm talking here, some possessions have looked very good. Other possessions, you can see those problems that are giving Coach Fife headaches right now.
Well, I think he's frustrated that Quentin Carruthers is such a big part of the team. You don't want to overplay it, but when you take him out of your game plan for the better part of the first half, you've got to adjust.
So Dons down 4, as they have been many times throughout the course of this first half, looking for a little run. I say they go back to Eggerick on the outside.
Oh, he's got his spot over there. You better get him back in the game.
Best has been a little bit of a non-factor down there with the big trees, and that time, once again, he can't get anything going against the 7-1 McLeod. Diebler hands off to Lloyd. They run the weave. Nice hanging jumper.
Good job by Hawkins.
Yeah, that was good
He's
defense.
guarding Igbavoa, and that guy moves a lot, and he was able to get over and still block the shot.
Lepper spots up, can't get the shot off. Hawkins going to have a look. Nice ball fake. Good 2-man game. Oh, doesn't pay off, but Savely the
first second
rebound.
chance of the night for the Dons.
See if they can capitalize. Best. Bounce pass. Nice one. Savely! Nothing but net!
That's just great ball movement. Dayton Fife's got to love that. They get a second chance, move the ball all the way around, reverse it, and the big men don't move quite that quick inside.
Definitely the best offensive set of the night for the Dons at this point. Mabai set to check in, the next dead ball for Valpo, but Huff working first. McLeod towers over everyone. Now Igbavoa. Foul on the floor, no shot attempt, so he'll go for 1-on-1. Let's see who that's going to go against. That's going to go against Kyle Savely, and guess what? Now you have Quentin Carruthers, Chris Perkins, and Savely, all with 2 fouls.
Yeah, the Dons getting some early foul trouble, and you'd kind of expect that from a team like Valpo where guys have to help out underneath. Homer Drew using a lot of bodies.
He is, in a very quick rate of exchange. He's moving them in and out of there very quickly. This time it's Mabai and McPherson coming back in, and now Eggerick and DeWitt Scott will hop
Coach
off
Fife
the
heard
bench.
you over there calling for the 3 from Eggerick.
Yeah, I look for an outside shot by Z here any moment. So here's Igbavoa at the line. High arcing free throw goes in.
He's a good-looking player. Tough guy to guard if you watch him. He never stands still. Just an athletic player. And, you know, when you stand 6'8", only sophomore. So one of those young guys that Homer Drew's excited about. Although we talked before the game, it's also, he said he's getting some gray hair when he coached so many young guys.
Yeah, I said to him, these are the years that are supposed to be fun. You get to do all the coaching and everything. He goes, get kind of old. I don't know about that.
That's why he's got his son with him for when he decides to hang it up. So
all right.
It's not for a while. He's a great coach.
3-point lead for Valpo. Let's go to Z.
DeWitt Scott has not pulled the trigger for a while now.
Eggerick, 2-man game with
Savely's
Savely.
had the hot hand.
Yeah, Savely is an exciting player. Coach Fife will say we're just still working on slowing him down, and you can see some of that right there as he goes to the floor, but he keeps possession, and DeWitt, a nice aggressive move and 1!
You know, the shot clock was down to 4. DeWitt understood that, and just a great, that's why they love him. He's a very good, talented offensive weapon.
Yeah, they need him to be aggressive. You can see it. Nice aggressive move. Draws the body. Great body control.
Against the big man.
Yeah, that one goes against Igbavoa, his first foul, and now it will be DeWitt's task to try to tie this game up with 5:30 left to go in the first half. And he's not able to do it, but long rebound.
Nice job by Best.
Good tap out. Dons to take the lead now.
Five's calling a set play, trying to get a quick one. And
Turn
that's a pretty
around.
good look.
Was a good look for the sophomore Johnson. Can't get it to go. McPherson quickly. Dons get back on defense well, though. Off a screen. Diebler running that weave up top. Taken to the floor. Huff, no call. McPherson, acrobatic move, kick out, and Igbavoa showing some range.
Pretty good defense. They stopped the dribble penetration, but when you got the big man out there that can knock it down, that's the problem when you do stop it.
Yeah, when he can knock down a 16-footer like that, that creates matchup problems. Dodd's turn now to answer. Savely trying to tie this game up. Barely draws rim. And we're going the other way.
Igbavoa already pulled down his 8th rebound of the game.
Yeah, they have not given up too many second chances, just 2 that I can remember now for the Dons on the offensive end as they draw nothing on the offensive side. Dons have done a good job, even though they've been trailing, to not get themselves too far behind.
Shooting 40% right now, doing a decent job on the offensive end.
Savely working on McPherson, wanted a screen. Here's Best. Working on Mabai, out of control. That's going to be a turnover, travel called. Tyler just got a little out of control.
Yeah, Coach Fife loosened his tie on that one. That's probably thought he could have got a call, but he certainly knows that, like you just said, your player's a little out of control.
Fun to watch Coach Drew down here on this side. We're sitting right next to him, and fun to watch him work with these young players. He's got some players. Here's Huff off the screen. Trying to get it down to Igbavoa. They finally do. Working on Z. Turn around. No good. Good positioning.
Well, I like what Johnson's done on the defensive end. Brings a lot of energy.
Another media timeout. We will take it with them. 30-27. Dons hanging in there against the Crusaders. We'll be back. More IPFW action coming your way on MyTV.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Are playing basketball in the Coliseum. Don's home opener of the basketball season, and right now in a battle with Valpo in the first half. Last 3:40 of this half, Ryan, going to be key in how the Dons go into the second half.
Yeah, and that's one thing they've got to stop. We talk about that dribble penetration. It's really burned them.
Diebler connects, and it's now a 5-point lead for Valpo. Dons need to answer.
Big possession here.
Z.
That's not what Dane Fife wanted to see.
Tried to force it to Z, but it's Diebler getting a hand in there.
8th turnover for the Dons. Both teams real content to play a half-court game.
Igbavoa working on Z. He's had the best of this most of the night. Up and under move. Nice defense by Eggerick. Savely going to hold it wisely. Yeah, these last 3 minutes definitely going to be key in momentum heading into the second half.
Dons have gotten very little inside the basket, and I think that's got to frustrate Coach Five.
Here's Johnson trying to create. Here's Zelko, his third three of the night.
I was going to say that wasn't his spot, but apparently from either side of the arc.
The big fella. Well, he's a leading scorer for the Dons in the opener against Notre Dame on Friday.
That's a big bucket right there.
Mabai now working on Best. Nothing.
That's really not the shot they want him to shoot. He's certainly, we talked about it before, there's a guy running. I believe McLeod will be replacing Mabai on that one. I think Homer Drew will give him the green light, but not that kind of a shot.
Oh, and Best just throws it away, but luckily a hand hit that ball by one of the Crusaders, and the Dons will retain possession. Mabai going to come off.
Yeah, he started walking when he heard the horn. Didn't even bother to look over.
Well, the two coaches battling back and forth. There's been a lot of chess game going on here so far in the first half with substitutions and kind of trying to counter each other, and it's been a good battle up to this point. Dons can tie it.
Dons have hit 6 threes already in the first half, 6 out of 13, looking for 7.
And Johnson can't find the range. Another zone look from Valpo that time. Tiebler cross court to McPherson. Now McLeod, high-low run. Pass way too high, but Igbavoa able to save it there. Into the lane. No good, but coming down is Johnson. Came down awkwardly and kind of wincing.
Yeah, Coach Five shaking his head as he walks down because I'm sure all week in practice they talked about stop the dribble, and it's continually been a problem for him in this first half.
That's the first foul on Jakari Johnson, and he's going to stay in the game. He got up, appears to be okay.
It looks like he's content to keep Quentin Carruthers safe for the first half with 2 fouls. At this point, with 1:41 left, I think it's a smart call on Coach Five's part.
Here comes Johnson out of the ball game, and Pat Leopard checks back in, and he hasn't needed him.
No, he's gotten great minutes out of Saban.
Yeah, no reason to bring him back in foul trouble with the team only down 3 and now 4. And this is about where we've been for the better portion of the last 15 minutes. Minute and 38, as I've mentioned a few times in the last couple minutes. These last couple possessions, if you're the Dons, you'd like to see something positive happen. Savely trying to make that happen, and does with the 3.
You just know he's going to knock that shot down. Savely, the leading scorer for the Dons, well, now with 10.
And Drew calls a timeout, 30-second timeout, and the Dons really living and dying by the outside shot, but right now, as Ryan mentioned, 7 of 15 right now, and really lightening it up from the outside, and that's where most of the points have come from.
Yeah, they're shooting better from three-point land than they are from 2 right now, and that's certainly you add those up, and the threes are going to do better. And boy, Savely, really, he's that spark plug you talked about, and he's giving them great minutes on a night they really needed it.
Yeah, you can see on that replay, good ball movement. I've been impressed in some of the half-court sets, the ball movement on several different possessions for the Dons. Whether they've made or missed, they've gotten several open looks on the Crusaders.
Well, now they need a big stop. You're talking about 1:20. The biggest lead for Valpo has been 5. Young fan there watching the game.
Future Don, maybe?
Pretty excited. See, he was sleeping until the threes from Zelko.
Coach Fife, full lengths of recruiting.
Yeah, you got to watch here because you know that Homer set up a play for him, but the Dons have done a good job. Well, until that.
Oh, Igbavoa fouled hard underneath. Hard to tell from our view who that went on. It looked like it may have been DeWitt Scott. It was DeWitt. And that is going to be his second. So now 4 different players for the Dons with 2 fouls. Hard foul, at least Igbavoa was unable to connect on the shot though. And the first one now missed. Johnson back into the game for the Dons. DeWitt comes out.
We'll talk later in the second half, Tommy, about what Homer told us about the future of basketball here in Fort Wayne. He was very optimistic about what this city has in store for this program.
Yeah, a lot of people with things that have happened, and we'll talk at halftime with Athletic Director Mark Pope about the Dons and IPFW. getting into the mid-con and the future of the athletic program.
Valpo back in a 2-3.
Johnson can't hit on the 3. Don's settling for a lot of outside shots, and I know it's gone well for him so far, but you don't want to keep doing that. Huff now from the outside. Can't go. Weak side rebound pulled down by Best. Under a minute to go. 40 seconds now. Shot clock is not off.
Now, Five would probably like to see him wait to the final few seconds of this, give Valpo a little chance to get another shot off. But at this point in the game, if you get a good look, I think you take it.
Dons can tie, bounce pass into Best. Needs to make a strong move. Here's Zelko. Oh, almost had his 4th-3 of the night. And ball deflected out of bounds.
Dons have done a much better job keeping things alive. We went 5 or 6 minutes where they didn't see a second chance.
Scrappy. They've been scrappy. So 18.9 to go, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. Shot clock is now off, so the Dons can hold for the last shot, possibly tie, and perhaps even go ahead of Valpo here at the break. There's Savely. Done a good job running the show. We have not seen a lot of Chris Perkins since picking up his second foul.
Now it's about the time you get in the offense.
Here's Lepper. 3, no good. 5 seconds left on the clock. Huff pushing it. 2 seconds left. Huff pulls up. Shot will go, but does not go. Would have counted if it went. So we've reached halftime, and a good half for IPFW, trying to bounce back from that loss to Notre Dame in the opener. They've had a good opening 20 minutes here in the Coliseum, down just 2 points to Valpo. We'll talk more about it. First, when we come back, we'll talk to Athletic Director Mark Pope about IPFW, what he thought of the first half, and what he thinks about the future with the Mid-Con looming next year. You're watching IPFW basketball on MyTV.
You know, if she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour, unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales, you're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a thrilling 93-92 overtime victory over Huntington in an exhibition game, the men's basketball team plays its season opener Friday at Notre Dame. The Dons then have a busy homecoming week. They play their first home game Monday, November 13th against Valparaiso at the Coliseum at 7 p.m. Rochester College visits Wednesday the 15th at 7. Then the big homecoming game is Sunday, November 19th against intrastate rival Indiana State. The ball is in the air at 4 p.m., and the members of IPFW's new Hall of Fame will be introduced at halftime. The IPFW women tip off their season Saturday at the Gate Center against Toledo at 7 p.m. The women's volleyball team will carry an outstanding 23-10 record into the independent tournament Friday and Saturday at North Dakota State. Junior libero Peachy Jankowski received her 4th Independent Defensive Player of the Week award for her play in victories over Wright State and IUPUI. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
We have reached halftime here, home opener of the basketball season for IPFW, and down just 2 points for to Valparaiso. Tommy Schegler joined now by IPFW Athletic Director Mark Pope, and Mark, tell me your impressions of the first half. They're down just 2.
Well, let's keep the outside shooting. I've got to tell you, I've watched a lot of basketball practice this fall, and I knew Z had an outside range. I didn't know that Coach had given him the green light to shoot him, but boy, they're right down the middle. So, let's keep it going.
Yeah, after what we saw from Z, Zelko Egerick in the first half, 3 threes, almost had the fourth, and kind of living and dying by the 3 at this point, though, 7 of 18. But you look at the points in the paint, you know that was something that Coach Fife has been concerned about. The Dons down right now 14-2 in that category, but I felt like there were certain possessions where the defense looked the way that they looked against Notre Dame and what has been giving Coach Fife headaches, but then other possessions where they looked very good defensively.
Well, and it's got to be 100% all the time. I had a chance to go watch us play at Notre Dame, and it was the same thing that we saw with Huntington. We just don't have a real good interior defense set up right now, and we're going to have to do some cheating. We're going to have to do a little bit of fronting and off guard coming down and picking off and doing a little double team, because Valpo is physical, a mid-major in the paint as we're going to face all year.
What is your impression of this team? Obviously, it's early on, but they had the success at the end of last basketball season. Coach Fife coming back for his second year, trying to kind of mesh some of these JUCO transfers. What are your impressions of the guys as a group?
Well, Tommy, I think they're more athletic than they were last year. I think that they are certainly more team-oriented. A lot of hand-slapping, a lot of, if you watch that in the second half, a lot of congratulations and, picking each other up. This team has suffered a couple of emotional things over the last couple of months, and that all builds into it, too. So I think they're growing together as a team. I like what I see so far, except for the interior defense. But that's, when you're playing Notre Dame, I told Mike Gray after the game, I thought the football team went to Colorado, and here they were showing up at our game. So, there's a lot of horses in there, and hopefully as the season winds on, we won't have quite as much of the forest to battle there. But we're going to have to get tougher in the middle. We're going to have to understand that it's a full-time commitment all the time.
Yep.
And Dane, I know, will bring the defense along. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, Coach Fife talking a lot with us yesterday when we spoke with him about just getting a couple guys to buy into exactly what they want to do, and that's something that pretty much every team goes through, especially a team with a new coach and a young program that the players haven't been through 3 and 4 years under the same coach. So I think that's to be expected. We're in our home opener, pretty decent crowd out. What are your impressions of the home portion of the schedule this year? And a key part of it right off the bat, we got 3 straight home games this weekend. This is important to kind of try to get out to a good start.
I saw this schedule. I went to Fife and I said, "What are you're trying to kill me or something?" 3 home games in a row. Our staff is really running ragged to try and make this happen. We should be able to do okay Wednesday night against Rochester. I think that'll be a good game. Indiana State's coming in here Sunday afternoon just hell-bent for leather because of what we did to them last year.
Yep.
And kind of changed their season. They went on a little bit of a tailspin after we had a chance to knock them off. So they're going to be ready for us. So it's it is a tough schedule. A lot of people are still thinking football right now in November, and that's tough. Thank God we didn't play this game on Saturday the 18th. The Indiana State game, we'll be playing it Sunday the 19th. So it's not, we don't have to battle Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah, there's another little game going on.
Exactly. But, again, I think as a mid-major, we sold 1,800 season tickets this year. That's tops in the mid-con. Our crowds are averaging around 2,500. That would put us in the top echelon of mid-majors. Not a MAC level, certainly not a Big Ten level, but at our level, it's right up there at the top. And in fact, last year, our attendance for men's basketball would have put us second overall in the mid-con, and that's against teams like Valpo and Oral Roberts. So we're doing okay.
One last quick question. Let's talk a little mid-con. We don't have much time left, but tell me what this basketball season and the other athletic basketball season or athletic seasons, what are you trying to accomplish this year as you get ready to go into the mid-con?
Prepare. We need to understand what it means to compete in a conference. The only guy who really knows that back and forth is Arnie Ball. Yep. So Arnie's going to take us through a little bit of a retreat over the finals week and talk about what it means to get ready for conference play and prepare for conference play. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the rules and procedures of the mid-con. I was up at a meeting of ADs about 3 weeks ago, and luckily we're in pretty good shape.
Yep.
There aren't many changes that we have to affect next year from a procedural standpoint. But I think the mental concept of getting in and playing in conference play, we haven't done that for quite a while. So we need to learn what that means, because I think there are several teams right off the bat that can win mid-con championships and go to NCAA tournaments.
Mark Pope, thanks a lot for joining us, doing a great job guiding IPFW in the right direction. The conference was the big one, got that out of the way. Now we got to get the next thing. Now we'll be hounding you about when the first championship's going to come.
Sounds good. Make it happen.
All right, halftime here. The Dons down 2 points, 35-32 or 33 in the home opener of the 2006-2007 basketball season. We'll be back on my TV.
Mom, Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a thrilling 93-92 overtime victory over Huntington in an exhibition game, the men's basketball team plays its season opener Friday at Notre Dame. The Dons then have a busy homecoming week. They play their first home game Monday, November 13th against Valparaiso at the Coliseum at 7 p.m. Rochester College visits Wednesday the 15th at 7. Then the big homecoming game is Sunday, November 19th against intrastate rival Indiana State. The ball is in the air at 4 p.m. and the members of IPFW's new Hall of Fame will be introduced at halftime. The IPFW women tip off their season Saturday at the Gate Center against Toledo at 7 p.m. The women's volleyball team will carry an outstanding 23-10 record into the independent tournament Friday and Saturday at North Dakota State. Junior libero Peachy Jankowski received her 4th Independent Defensive Player of the Week award for her play in victories over Wright State and IUPUI. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Time at the Coliseum, 35-33. Dons down by just 2 to Valpo. Tommy Schegler, Ryan Elijah back with me, and talked with Mark Pope about his impressions of the first half. What were your impressions of the first half and how the Dons did out there?
Well, you know, they played a pretty good game. I think when you talk about Quentin Carruthers playing 4 minutes, he never gets back in the game. Kyle Savely, for me, was the biggest difference in the first half. He plays a solid one of 7 players to score for the Dons, leads them with 10 points. And Agaric, obviously, with 3 threes, keeps them in the game. And, you know, rebounding-wise, they've held their own with Valpo. Turnovers, they had a rough start early. 1 in the final 8 or 9 minutes. So really, for day and 5, you got to be pleased with how most of the first half went.
I think that another thing that was interesting to see was defensively, it seemed like there were a couple of possessions there where, you know, Coach Fife was kind of throwing his hands up in the air, but I thought defensively they did a pretty good job on what I think is some pretty good post play by Valpo. I thought they did a pretty good job down low against them.
Very athletic team. I think if there's one thing he drew up on the chalkboard, he talked about where they're getting the ball, obviously with the dribble penetration, and all teams talk about that. When you're playing an athletic team, it's hard to stop them from getting inside, but that's where they need the help. And when those big guys, especially the big man in the middle, Igbavoa, gets it inside, he's awful tough to stop.
Look at some highlights here from the first half. Dons, really, Zelko Egerick really coming alive with 3 threes by the big fella outside. And then Kyle Savely We mentioned it, just fantastic minutes when Carruthers goes down with the foul problems early on.
Yeah, he leads the Dons with 10. We talked about their shooting. They shot only 27% against Notre Dame. Much better tonight, shooting 38%. Still probably not where Coach Fife would like to see. You'd like to see it into the mid-40s, but obviously a much better performance. They are getting hurt at the foul line. 8 of 11 is what Valpo's hit.
Really think it's been impressive to see how the Dons have played somewhat of a two-man game in their different sets, and the good looks that they've gotten because of that have opened up, especially Egerick on several of those threes that he hit were pretty much wide open, uncontested threes. So, you know, I mean, a lot to build on if you're Coach Fife right now in halftime and talk about going into the second half.
Yeah, you talk about you want to grab momentum right away. I mean, this is the first few minutes when you come out of the locker room, especially just down 2. They get on a 10-2 run all of a sudden. They get control of this game. They really haven't had control to this point.
Coach Mark Pope and I talked this week. Very key for the Dons when you look at it. You know, 3 straight home games, and if they could bounce back from Notre Dame as we look at the first half.
Look at their three-point percentage, 7 out of 8.
Yeah, I mean, that has been very impressive all across the board, really doing the job for.
But I got to tell you, it's actually 7 out of 18.
Yeah, 7 of 18 is.
I knew they shot well. I didn't think they shot well.
All right, we're going to take one more break, and we will be back with the second half of action from the Coliseum. Second half coming your way between Valpo and IPFW, 35-33. The Crusaders with a 2-point lead right now at the half.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils? We only ask that you do your best.
I made you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a thrilling 93-92 overtime victory over Huntington in an exhibition game, the men's basketball team plays its season opener Friday at Notre Dame. The Dons then have a busy homecoming week. They play their first home game Monday, November 13th against Valparaiso at the Coliseum at 7 p.m. Rochester College visits Wednesday the 15th at 7. Then the big homecoming game is Sunday, November 19th against intrastate rival Indiana State. The ball is in the air at 4 p.m. and the members of IPFW's new Hall of Fame will be introduced at halftime. The IPFW women tip off their season Saturday at the Gate Center against Toledo at 7 p.m. The women's volleyball team will carry an outstanding 23-10 record into the independent tournament Friday and Saturday at North Dakota State. Junior libero Peachy Jankowski received her 4th Independent Defensive Player of the Week award for her play in victories over Wright State and IUPUI. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Back to live action here at the Coliseum. 1 possession so far by Valpo. Went nowhere, and here are the Dons in the second half. First time, Carruthers just unable to get going.
Well, you know, he's been sitting a long time, and you got to get him back into the flow of the game. He really has not gotten to do that to this point.
It's been a tough night for Q so far. He's the leader.
By the way, we tried to hold the refs off to start, but it's like they're an out-of-town crew and they want to get out of here.
Yeah, somewhere else to be. Nonetheless, Dons down 2 as we're in the early portions of the second half. Here's Diebler working on Scott. Good defense by DeWitt and a late whistle. And that's going to be a quick number 3 on DeWitt, which I'm sure is going to force him to sit down.
Yeah, it makes a tough decision. He doesn't want to take him out right now, but if it's a 4th foul, he's going to sit for a while.
Well, he may decide to play DeWitt with the 3 fouls.
Yeah, I think he's going to roll the dice. I mean, you've got a player that clearly is one of your go-to guys on offense. 2 for 5 on the night so far, DeWitt Scott.
6'6" junior out of Chicago.
Valpo continues to add to their cushion at the line. That's one thing that has become a bit of a factor tonight.
Yeah, they've made 10 free throws now compared to just 2 for the Dons. So here is Scott. Bounce pass down to Best. Best working on McLeod, and Trying to get it up over those long arms of McLeod has been difficult.
Pretty good look. Valpo pushing it.
Huff. Turn around. Kind of cut off there, so they'll reset. Igbavoa on the floor. Nice help. Yes, nice help by Perkins. Came over after the double team on Igbavoa. Carruthers, the jumper, can't go.
Nobody crashing the board for the Dons.
Yeah, there was no one even in the lane. So McPherson working on Perkins, and now they get it over to the right side. Miscommunication between Igbavoa and McLeod, and they just turn the ball over again.
Bit of a sloppy 2 minutes to start the second half right now.
Egerick into the ball game. First substitution for Coach Fife here.
He put on 20 pounds this offseason. Coach Fife thought that would really make a difference, thought he was undersized last year. And even as, tonight he's still a little bit as well, but that 20 pounds can make a big difference underneath when you're banging for 20, 30 minutes.
And when you're out on the perimeter, shooting the J, apparently.
Yeah, that's right.
He worked on the outside shot as well. Carruthers rises, can't find the range. Couple misses by Q so far here in the second. Good D that time.
Picking up his third foul, but you got to be aggressive.
Diebler coming off the screen. McLeod now, one-on-one. He gets it deep this time against Best. Nice kick out, Diebler, three. He's got to hit that shot.
Big time rebound by Quentin Carruthers.
They worked the two-man game well, did Diebler and McLeod that time, but here's Scott. Free rattling around and out.
That's a good look. DeWitt Scott's going to hit a lot more of those than he misses.
Dons have come out cold here in the second, and McPherson draws a foul on the drive.
This Valpo team, Tommy, has 6 players from outside of the United States. We don't know where Homer Drew gets them from, but this is an international team.
Chris Perkins picks up his third foul, so now Scott and Perkins for the Dons with 3, and Kyle Savely and Pat Lepper jump up off the bench for the Dons. They'll check in here after these free throws. Here's McPherson dropping in the first. Perkins is going to sit down with the 3 fouls, and Scott is going to sit down with the 3 fouls.
Yeah, that's a good move by Coach Fife. You left DeWitt in for a while, did a good job of playing with 3 fouls, but you don't want to push your luck here, especially when Savely played as well as he did in the first half.
Yeah, now a lot on the shoulders of Savely, as they really need him to play well. McPherson hits 1 out of 2, and the lead up to 5. Biggest one, ties the biggest one of the night, so you need to answer here if you're the Dons. Tyler Best been cold tonight, and that one is going to be good. Nice quick move over McLeod.
Did a good job of backing him away, and Tyler Best is going to hit a lot of those.
Back down to a 3-point deficit for the Dons. McLeod working on Best, gets himself under, but great shot off the glass, kind of reached back around and put it off the window.
Just a nice move for the big 7-1.
Lepper off the shot fake, goes glass, no.
Got to be careful it doesn't get away from you here. Valpo's gotten up 5 big possessions for the Don to shut him down.
Igbavoa in the lane, Egerich, and Lepper comes in and steals it away.
That's what we talked about before, the guard coming over to help out. It can't all be on the big man.
So here we go, Dons. As you said, these are big possessions, down 5. They've been somewhat out of control and seem to be a little bit in a hurry. You need to take a deep breath, slow down here a little bit.
Well, Quentin Carruthers has got to get involved.
Savely, the quick trigger. Can't get it to go. Egerich flying in. Can't get a handle. Got to get back on D, and the Dons do. Igbavoa loses
good position. Just let him a little bit too far. Good job getting back on D by the Dons.
Timeout on the floor. Crusaders now out by 5. That is the deficit the Dons will try to make up when we come back here on MyTV.
Eat. Wait, what is this? Capsicum anum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man.
Funny.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Back here in the Coliseum, second half, IPFW down 5 to Valpo.
Yeah, shooting just 34%. That really is something that's got to frustrate Coach Fife, and a lot of it's just getting better looks at the basket.
Quentin Carruthers, they've been trying to get him involved the whole second half. Q yet to find the rain. Zelko has had it all night and continues his 4th 3 in the game.
He's got a real good stroke out there. 4 for 5 on the night for the big fella, all from behind the arc.
The 6'9" sophomore getting it done. Foul away from the ball, going to go against Valpo. Might be the big guy McLeod, and that is who they call it on. He was trying to set a screen down low for Lloyd, who was coming through, and they catch him for the foul.
You sense a little momentum change here. If they can get another big bucket, IPFW for the first time in a long time could pull even here.
Yeah, a little bit of crowd participation at this point. Crowd starting to liven up just a little bit.
Great ball movement.
Here's Savely. Savely needs to settle down just a little bit. Lepper, 15 on the shot clock.
There's still plenty of time.
And there's Jerron Burrows, who we haven't seen much of down there. And a steal on the baseline by Huff. That was not a good possession by the Dons.
No, well, not a good foul there either.
Savely gets it from behind.
You know, not really bad defense. Found himself at the wrong spot at the wrong time, coming back.
He is going to take a seat on the bench for it.
Probably as frustrated as we've seen Coach Fife all night. He knew right there was a big possession for them to take a possession and maybe take a lead on this one.
He wants to talk to Savely. Just putting the arm around saying,
yeah.
Hey, look at the time, look at the situation. That's not what we need right there.
And he's telling him about the defense, I'm sure. I mean, just really got himself out of position.
Luckily, Lloyd can't hit on the first.
They did catch a break. They called a two-shot foul.
Second, no good as well. Igbovoa hits the floor.
Well, I tell you what, Leopard got away with a push right there.
An interesting lineup in for Coach Fife and the Dons right now. This is a group that probably hasn't played together a ton. And here is Burrows, a turnaround on the block, working on Igbovoa.
This is a guy they like. We did not see much of him at all in the first half.
Didn't play 1 minute in the first half, and now comes in and tries to provide a spark. And he's tied this game up at 40. Don's right in it with Valpo. Huff, man, could have been fouled, could have been called for a foul several times. Battles through, puts it in.
Need to find a way to get Quentin Carruthers back involved offensively.
All three of the JUCO transfers on the floor right now for the Dons. Lepper, Perkins, and Burrows. And here's Lepper to Zelko. And traveling going to be called. Coach Fife doesn't like that one. You can see Coach Fife
getting pulled back over to the bench.
Yeah, kind of walking the line there, but needs to state his case. Wisely gets back over. His team down just 2 points. Samuel Hoppe back in the game for the Crusaders. And here's Huff from the block. Baby hook, good. That's too easy.
The Crusaders have really gotten away from going down low, and that's one thing the Dons have done a good job of keeping the ball out of the paint.
Yeah,
nice pass.
Good backdoor cut by Carruthers. His first bucket of the night.
It's a nice pass by the big man. He sees the floor well out there, and Quentin Carruthers back on the board for the first time since the early minutes of the first half.
Yeah, I should say first bucket of the second half. Here's Diebler wide open, and he has got to hit that shot. Luckily for the Dons, he does not. Dons can tie back up here. In front, Burrows slap pass to Lepper. And here's Perkins. And foul going to be called on the floor. Called on the foul there is Hoppe, his first. Just the second team foul on Valpo. 13 minutes left to go in this game. We got ourselves a 2-point ball game in the home opener for the Dons here at the Coliseum.
Big possession for the Dons. Chance here, certainly with the big man outside, could take the lead here.
Here's Eggerick in between the rings, going to give it off to the leader. Here's Carruthers. Zone defense by Valpo.
They do a good job of a 2-3 out there.
And they do a good job of mixing it as well. Throw flashes at you.
Yeah, it really makes it tough to get inside, obviously. That's why teams play the zone. And that's the best way to beat it.
Perkins drops in the three, shoots over top of that zone, and the Dons with their first lead of the night, 45-44. And Huff draws the foul underneath. Good aggressive move. They come right back down. Burrows called for his first foul, the 14th foul on the Dons.
Yeah, Dane's got to be frustrated. It's now 11-2 with the foul line. You got to figure Valpo's an athletic team, but he's not happy the way the free throw percentage looks right now.
Here's Huff. First one finally drops in there. 12 of 18, Valpo is from the line at this point.
Don's just 2 of 3.
Yeah, 2 of 3. That's just an amazing difference.
Interesting, neither team committed to playing anything other than a half-court game. We haven't seen anything but a 2-3 defense out of either team. And, you know, you see that's kind of how IPFW is going to be this year. I don't think they'll play 80 feet like a lot of teams and impress, but, you know, Valpo apparently content to play that style as well.
But interesting because that is a little different than what Coach Five told us they wanted to do tonight, and that was racking up the pressure just a little bit and try to force Valpo into some press situations. But, you know, maybe he hasn't gotten comfortable with it yet and hasn't needed it.
Valpo staying with the zone, and that's the one thing is Homer Drew. You shouldn't give that up in a 2-3 zone, but IPFW does a great job of moving the basketball.
Yeah, it was a good flash, and the Dons retake the lead, and now they cause a turnover on the other end. Hoppa called for the travel, so the Dons will have the ball back to have themselves a 1-point lead when we come out of the timeouts. We will be back after this. You're listening or watching IPFW basketball here on MyTV.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Welcome back to the Coliseum. Dons with a 1-point lead, trying to build on that here with the ball. Tommy Schegler along with Ryan Elijah. Our debut and a foul called away from the ball as Perkins tried to get it down low to Best. And I think it's going to be called on Best. Actually, check that. I believe they just nabbed DeWitt Scott with his
just checked into the game.
Foul.
He wasn't in more than 2 seconds, and unfortunately that's a tough way to pick up your 4th foul. I've been there before. You just feel like it's a night where they continually call your number, and DeWitt Scott's got to feel that way. Nice job, even though he picks up the foul. Real good job of coming over by Pat Lepper.
Yeah, questionable call. Crowd felt that way. That's a tough one. So Lepper now picks up his 3rd.
Well, it's a good thing they don't show the foul shots attempted up on the Coliseum scoreboard. The fans might be a little more upset if they knew it was 19-3 at this point.
Yeah.
Make it 20-3.
Well, you know, I mean, you look at just the fouls called overall, there's only been 5 fouls called the entire game on Valpo.
Yeah.
Whereas there are 5 just between 2 players. There's 5, 10, 13, 16, 17 fouls called so far on the Dons. So Igbavoa ties the game by hitting 1 of 2.
Lloyd's trying to pick up a little more, at least three-quarter court, but it's kind of token pressure going up.
Yeah. So here are the Dons, tied up. Carruthers trying to create. Zelko, the hot hand. Ooh, that time no, air ball. Best tried to save it, but couldn't. Here come the Crusaders.
Just didn't get himself set, but a good job of Quentin Carruthers to get him freed up. He draws a lot of defense.
Lloyd, the 3, line drive shot won't go. Mabai, too easy on the rebound. He can't get it to go, and here comes Perkins. He doesn't have numbers, but he's got Q out in front. Now he decides to hold it up.
Yeah,
well
good
done.
decision to pull it out.
Here's Best, hand off to Carruthers. Carruthers working on Mabai. Back up top. Perkins in the lane, no.
Yeah, not the shot, but a great job by Perkins to get it back.
Carruthers gets it to go. Big bucket for the Dons, almost at the midway point of the second half.
You know, Perkins gets in the doghouse for an ill-advised shot, but he does a great job of hustling and gets him another chance.
And you can see with every possession the Dons' intensity, as that time Lloyd breaks free after a nice screen.
Just a defensive breakdown, had a chance to put it up by 4.
Yeah, I spoke too soon. I was going to say, it seems like the intensity being ratcheted up. Lepper can shoot it, and that time no. Try to tip out and they get it.
Done a much better job of keeping the ball alive.
Yep, anything they got to do to keep it alive. Here's Perkins hanging and banging. Dons back out in front on the 3-point play, up by 3 now. Biggest lead of the night.
Yeah, it'd be a good place for a stop. You kind of feel the momentum shifting a little bit.
Igbavoa just too easy.
Yeah, just pushes him away with his left hand.
Yeah, walks right into the lane and hits on the baby hook. Cloud will check in on the next dead ball for Valpo. Best working on Mabai. Kind of been a non-factor in this game. Igbavoa hits it out of bounds.
Yeah, tough pass down low. The Crusaders coming in now with 3 new guys, which means you'll see a little more energy on defense.
Yep, Diebler, Huff, McLeod, replacing McPherson, Mabai, and Hoppa. I like this lineup that Coach Drew has in there right now. This is a good lineup. McLeod and Igbavoa down there together are a formidable 2 underneath. And
well, Diebler's been sitting for a while, and he's a guy that you certainly can't leave free.
So here's Lepper. Johnson also checking into that dead ball for the Dons. His first action of the second half. He has the ball right now.
back in their 2-3, which Quentin Carruthers, if he win the game, would love that. But Perkins has a hot hand.
Perkins can't hit. Best, a nice rebound, and a foul going to be called on Diebler. Smaller Diebler over the back of Best.
Well, Homer Drew's got to be scratching his head right now because that's why you play the 2-3s, to not give up those rebounds on the weak side.
First on Jake Diebler, sophomore. 8 freshmen or sophomores on this Valpo roster. So a young team. And the Dons have done well against them. Looking at the zone again. Trying to find a spot to attack it.
They've done a good job of moving the ball inside, and it frees up a guy like Lepper from outside.
That time he comes up short.
Much better job of Valpo boxing out.
Lloyd on the handoff. Takes it baseline, right around Perkins, and ball then gets away from him. Here comes Perkins. He's going to attack. And nice runner, but they call a travel.
Coach Fife agreed with him.
McPherson right back into the game for Lloyd. Only got about a 30-second rest right there. And about the same for Carruthers. Here you see. Ooh, did you see a walk there?
Good finish. Well, I didn't, but I think they called him for the carry.
All right, Igbavoa trying to give Valpo the lead back. Hands off. Diebler, nice fake down the lane, draws the foul.
Yeah, Valpo does a nice job of clearing it out and puts one of their best foul shooters at the line.
Going to be Tyler Best picking up the foul, one of the few Dons not in foul trouble right now. That's just his first.
Yeah, they're piling up when you look down the line at the foul list for the Dons. 3 guys now make it 4 with 3 fouls.
Diebler drops it in to tie the game up at 52 at the 8:30 mark. Lepper comes out. for the Dons.
Now 16-2 at the foul line. The Crusaders really keeping themselves in the game in the charity stripe.
That is the whole game right there. Crusaders now up 53-52. Dons looking to answer. Carruthers really the one Don on the floor that can create, and that's what he's trying to do. Frees up Zelko for a three. Banks one in!
See if we see a smile on his face. I don't think so.
The bench got a lot of smiles.
He intended to bank that.
Timeout, Coach Drew. He's got to figure out an answer for Zelko Igorek. The big fella right now with 5 3-pointers. He's 5 of 7 behind the arc. And we have a full timeout on the floor by Coach Drew. We're going to keep it here. But, man, when a guy like that can catch fire for you, the things that he can do for you, it just, you know, the momentum that is involved with this is a game of swings, and somebody can do like that. It's great.
Well, you know what's nice is you see him spotted for the three. I mean, we know he's 5 for 7, but he does the little things well. He sets screens. He's basically a role player that is stepping outside. And, you know, when you've got a guy like Quentin Carruthers that's going to draw the defense, what a better guy to sit out there and hit it whether he wants to bank it or not. They all count the same.
Student section enjoying what they see from Big Z. And
this is where you could use the crowd.
Yeah, they could use the crowd. Crowd's been rather quiet, but it's been an interesting game. It's been a well-played game for an early season game, I would say, but there haven't been a lot of swings from a run standpoint. We haven't seen our 10-0, 12-0 runs at all.
The biggest lead we've seen all game is 5, and right when you thought Valpo was taking control at the end of the first half, the Dons answered. I still feel IPFW's got some momentum.
Yeah, I do too. I think that this is a key couple-minute stretch. They're going to get the next dead ball is going to be another timeout for media timeout, and you'd like to see them go into that media timeout with some momentum. Need a defensive stop here first.
Yeah, another one of these set plays where they're hoping to free somebody up for probably a quick three. Oh, great job.
Kari Johnson gets a mid on it.
He really gets after it. You got to figure between him and Perkins, take a lot of pride in their defense.
Sophomore out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And here's Huff to inbound it again. This time he gets it into Igbavoa. Here's one of those set plays you were saying out of the timeout.
They're going to pop somebody out. But
Coach Drew reaching into his bag of tricks. Igbavoa isolated. Got nothing.
Well, they don't always go as you drew them up. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Getting down low on the shot clock.
Yep, 7 seconds. McLeod forced into a shot that you wouldn't think he's comfortable with, but he drops it in there for the 15-footer and tying the game up at 55.
30 seconds of good defense, but you still give up the 2 points.
So here are the Dons. Tie ball game. Tyler working on the 7-1 frame of McLeod. Into the lane. Shot blocked. Tried the fadeaway.
I think he's gone to that well once too often. He's done a good job with that shot. McLeod at 7-1. Tough guy to shoot over.
Only 4 points tonight for Best. He's had a tough matchup down there. Huff probably could have been called foul on one of the Dons on the shot attempt. Coach Drew wanted it, but we'll take it. Here are the Dons the other way. Need a patient, good set here on offense. Need a good possession. And they get a nice shot down low.
He can score underneath. His first bucket that's not from behind the arc.
Great pass by Johnson into Egerick.
It really was.
And we're back up 57-55. Huff working down low, turnaround shot. And that's one thing, Ryan. A lot of times when the Dons have gone in front, they've come back down on the other end, and the Crusaders have gotten way too easy.
And so many times it's tough. You can see it in his eye. He's a guy in a pickup game. He wants the ball.
Yep, they've gotten too easy of a look. So back tied at 57.
Don's trying to spread the floor a little bit here.
Let Carruthers create against Diebler. They wanted a 5-second call to the Crusaders bench. Zelko feeling it, tried to go to the right hand, couldn't get it. Best keeping it alive. Here's Quinton, 7 on the shot clock. Fade away, won't go. Fight for the rebound. Diebler comes away with it. That could have been a key possession.
Drew wants him to slow it down here, just under 6 minutes.
This young team for the Crusaders. And losing his defender is Huff, down low, can't get it to go. It was that Carruthers fell to the floor. Best gets called for the foul down low. Timeout on the floor. We're all tied up. Huff going to come back with a 2-shot attempt at the line when we come back. You're watching IPFW men's basketball here on MyTV.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a thrilling 93-92 overtime victory over Huntington in an exhibition game, the men's basketball team plays its season opener Friday at Notre Dame. The Dons then have a busy homecoming week. They play their first home game Monday, November 13th against Valparaiso at the Coliseum at 7 p.m. Rochester College visits Wednesday the 15th at 7. Then the big homecoming game is Sunday, November 19th against intrastate rival Indiana State. The ball is in the air at 4 p.m. and the members of IPFW's new Hall of Fame will be introduced at halftime. The IPFW women tip off their season Saturday at the Gate Center against Toledo at 7 p.m. The women's volleyball team will carry an outstanding 23-10 record into the independent tournament Friday and Saturday at North Dakota State. Junior libero Peachy Jankowski received her 4th Independent Defensive Player of the Week award for her play in victories over Wright State and IUPUI. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Back to live action here at the Coliseum. Sean Huff, 6'6" junior, at the line to shoot 2. Gives Valpo the lead back.
Yeah, 17-2 at the line. Eventually, it just becomes such a big hurdle to overcome. You know, in the half-court game, Dons have clearly taken control.
And he drops in both. Yeah, you'd love to see the reaction of the crowd if they knew
what it actually was.
But nonetheless, Don's down 2 now. 5:30 mark. Here's Best. McLeod kind of flops and he forces Best to lose the ball. Igbavoa out in front. And trying to draw a charge down low was Johnson, but instead of blocking foul going to be called.
Yeah, that's a case where you can't always judge by where the foul shots are. I mean, clearly a team like Valpo, they're going to crash and they're going to get a lot of fouls. But, you know, I think if Coach Fife would give you a honest take right now, you know, good job. Just a second late there. Just a second late.
Igbavoa 4 of 6 from the line so far in this game.
Would you take a charge from him?
He's a big guy.
He's a big boy with a head of steam.
So here's the first one on the way and in. And this a key stretch here for the Dons. I know we've said that several times, but in a game that's been this closely contested, you just don't want to see the other team rattle off too many straight possessions with points with you not getting any. They've got to answer.
Yeah, Valpo has quietly opened up a 4-point lead now.
And you feel like the way this game's gone, since it stayed in the 4- and 5-point range, first team to really get going is maybe going to be able to put it away.
A little more intensity out of Valpo.
Trapping a little bit for the first time in the half. Here's Carruthers.
That's a good
got
way to
Zelko Egerick. Oh, looking for the 6, but a nice
good
offensive rebound. Burrows pulls it down, and now they set back up. Need a good look. Here's Burrows working on McLeod, trying to get over that big 7-1 frame, and draws the foul. We'll take it.
Yes, they will.
Second on McLeod. Burrows goes to the
one
line.
of 9 players in the scorebook tonight. Dane Fife's got to be pleased with that. He's got a real balanced effort.
First trip to the line tonight. Of course, not many Dons have gone to the line tonight. This is just their 4th free throw attempt, and it's no good.
Well, you got to feel, if you're IPFW, you've got the 3 seniors, and you'd hope this is a chance where you kind of get the advantage.
And the next one, no good for Burrows either. Fight for the rebound. Carruthers couldn't save it.
Yeah, 2 big misses right there. They need to stop right here.
They need the crowd to get into this. Here's Diebler. Diebler, and a nice pick by Perkins. Here's Perkins on McPherson and draws a hard foul from behind. Can't get the bucket to go. You hope that Chris is okay. He seems to be all right. Hard foul.
Yeah, we've talked about Perkins. He's just done a great job of it. He's pulled down 5 boards and clearly a big-time spark right there.
You know, Coach Fife talking about him yesterday. You'd be surprised. He said he doesn't consider him a great athlete. He did not think that his athleticism is the reason that he's such a great kid and such a great player. He's just got a tremendous feel for the game, and he thinks that's why he ends up putting himself in the positions that he gets steals and makes plays offensively as he drops in the first free throw.
Well, some guys just have that anticipation. He seems like one of those guys, you know, and it's the will to get to the spot before someone else does.
All right, next one won't go, but Burrows, another great offensive board.
I like him, the way he plays with intensity.
Very long wingspan as well.
Yeah, 7'1", is that what he
7'1".
measures out at?
Oh, big dunk by Quentin Carruthers!
And that gets the crowd into it for the first time tonight. They are up on their feet, the loudest they've been. And now you need to stop. You got to carry it over. Homer Drew knows he wants a timeout.
What a play by Quentin Carruthers. Goes to the baseline and gets the Dons within 1. We'll be back on My TV.
You know, if she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour, unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales, you're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Back to live action. Valpo just with a miss on the other end as they get back playing. And here's Carruthers coming off that great dunk. Can't get it to go.
Yeah, maybe not the shot they wanted. You know, obviously he's pumped up, but I think Dane Fife would have liked a little better shot.
And here's Huff into the lane. Lost control. And a foul called. Quick whistle. Really looked like Huff just lost control.
I'm not sure where that one came from.
We want to take a look at that unbelievable dunk by Carruthers. We'll try to do it when we come back from break. Don still down 1. We're at the 3:35 mark. We got a close one. Stick around. Going to be a great finish here on My TV.
Mom, Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Welcome back to the Coliseum. At the line, Sean Huff. Every point going to become critical at this point. Crusaders up just 1 point, 3:35 left to go. First one no good.
Yeah, Huff 5 of 6 on the night before that, so a big miss at this point. You know, this is where, Tommy, it comes down to 1 or 2 possessions. You can play the whole game tight, and one big play in the final few minutes, and IPFW's in a great position now to have a chance to tie or take the lead.
Boy, and this has been a great game. It doesn't get any more closely contested. It's been back and forth the whole time. So here's Egerick to Perkins. 20 on the shot clock, plenty of time for the Dons to be patient. Carruthers pulls up, not even close on the jumper. Burrows, those long arms again, gets the rebound, and he has provided a spark, maybe not in the points category, but offensive rebounds have been big.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know why he didn't play much in the first half at all. He didn't get any minutes.
No.
You know, he's done a real good job, been on the floor most of the second half, and he does the little intangibles. If you look at the board, you know, he's only got, 2 points, but he's done a lot of little things well, including get some rebounds.
Arula Igbavoa gets the foul there, his second.
I thought we were just going to call him you.
Yeah, we need to go back to that. Here we go. Carruthers driving, penetrating, losing it, but a foul call to reach in. That might have been on you once again.
I think they got Brandon McPherson, who would probably save an easy bucket.
You're right.
That's where I think Quentin Carruthers just has an extra gear. You know, he kicks it in, and, you know, when he's on, even that last shot, I think that's a shot that Quentin Carruthers has the green light to take.
Yeah, he's got a burst. You saw it on that dunk a couple minutes back. And these free throws very big with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, the Dons very quietly 3 for 8 from the line tonight, which it's not going to get it done at the Division I level, and I think that's one thing they will talk about tomorrow.
Got to drop this one in if you're the senior leader, Carruthers. And that one rattles in and out. Normally a pretty reliable free throw shooter. All right, so 1 point game here, Ryan. Under 3 minutes to go. Diebler cut off, good D.
I think you want to force an outside shot here. Keep it out of the big men inside.
McPherson.
McPherson's not a guy that's going to hurt you outside.
Oh, and they're going to get Egerick for a reach from behind McLeod, and that is ticky-tack. Double bonus now for Valpo, so 2 shots for Callum McLeod. Second on Egerick. I'm impressed that nobody is fouled out, though. As many people that are in foul trouble. Scott is back out there now with the 4 fouls. And Tyler Best checks in for Egerick.
McLeod trying to become the 4th Crusader in double figures. Both teams have really spread it out pretty well, which makes it tough to defend. You have 6 or 7 guys that can put it in the hoop. Unfortunately for Valpo, most of those points have come from the foul.
And second one rattles in for McLeod. So now a 3-point lead. This becomes a big possession for the Dons.
Yeah, down 3. You certainly don't need a 3 here. A lot of time left. What they need is a good look at the basket. And Quentin Carruthers likely the guy that's going to take it.
Burrows wanted no part of that shot. Gives off. Carruthers back out to Burrows. Burrows swings it. Plenty of time. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Going to give it to Q, let him create. He hangs and can't get it to go. Burrows, though, nice rebound.
How much have we talked about Burrows being the right guy at the right time?
I don't think this is a bad time for a timeout if Coach Fife.
Well, now you're under 2. This becomes a big-time possession because if you miss, you're playing a game of free throws in the double bonus.
There's Perkins. No, can't get it to go. Scott, another great rebound and draws the foul. The Dons have done the job on the offensive boards in the second part of this second half.
Yeah, DeWitt Scott's a guy that you would look to score a little bit. He has not had many opportunities tonight, just 2 of 6 from the field, but has a chance now to bring his team within 1.
Now 3rd foul on Brandon McPherson. And here we go with the 1-on-1. Oh, Scott, got to hit that.
That's been the story now, 4 of 10 from the line.
All right, now a big defensive possession.
Crowd chanting defense, and that's certainly what they need right here. You certainly do not want to put him at the foul line. You want to force him to an outside shot.
Huff, a wide open one, rattles it in.
That's a big bucket. Now you got to score quick. You got 1:30 to go.
Don's down 6.
Clinton Carruthers tying the shoe. He gets a timeout.
30-second timeout by the Dons.
Well, we talked about who was the guy that wants the ball for Valpo, and it's Huff.
Yeah, you called that a few minutes
back. You can see
back.
in his eye, and he wants the ball.
Well, the question now becomes who wants the ball for the Dons. Down 6 points with 1:25 to go. Really need to get a quick hoop here. And then are you at the point where you got to start fouling?
Yeah, the one thing I think you want to avoid here, Tommy, is going right to Clinton Carruthers. If he's open, clearly that's a guy you want to shoot. But, Valpo's not going to want to foul. You want to get a good look here. And if it's a 3, fine. If not, you get a quick 2, you're very much in this ball game, just down 4.
Yep, I think if you can get it down low into somebody, the Crusaders going to be very reluctant to challenge that too hardly and possibly get an easier high percentage bucket down
this is
low.
where Dane Fife goes to his playbook, and we'll see what he comes up with. Looking for a quick bucket off the timeout, probably shooting within 10 to 15 seconds.
Here's Best, gives it off to Cube. Scott coming off a screen, can't get the
That's
3.
what they set up. That's the shot they wanted, but Scott can't get it to go down.
Well, and here comes McPherson.
I think you got to foul. If you wait to foul till the shot clock's up, yeah, good foul.
1:07 left. It's going to come down to free throw shooting.
Valpo team that tonight's 74% from the line, and we talk about 23-4 at the foul line. And now IPFW is going to need some misses. This is about the way last year's game went. IPFW losing that one in the opener by 6. This would be just the 9th win for Valpo in their last 51 road openers.
Wow. Also be their 5th win over IPFW.
5 for 5.
Yep, taking the series to 5-0.
Then you look at a measuring stick, Tommy. I think Valpo, this is a team that's been to 7 NCAA tournaments. They went to the Sweet 16. And Homer Drew said he envisions a day when this place is full for IPFW basketball, and clearly that's the ultimate goal. And I think you get there by winning. They set the record last year with 10, and certainly this one's not over at some point. But this is a program you measure yourself against.
Yeah, it was interesting. He came over, talked to us before the game, and like you said a great building, and he can see good things to come for this building and for this program. Right now, though, they need some buckets. They need them quick. Clinton Carruthers able to provide a quick 2.
Still some time. 6 points with 1 minute to go. It's doable, but you're going to have to get some help from Valpo.
Quick timeout from Coach Fife. They talk it over. At this point, you need fouls and you need quick buckets. And I kind of go back to that possession with about a minute, I think it was about 2 minutes to go, down 3.
Yep.
It did not seem like the offense was really knowing where to go with it, and they ended up with a bad shot. Maybe go back and say that that's one they should have taken a harder look at. Maybe.
Well, that's when we talk about one possession. When they look back on it, he'll point to a possession. And, right now, IPFW is going to come out in their full court defense. And, you're not going for the foul yet. You want to get the steal first. If you can get that, you're in great shape. Otherwise, foul within 10 seconds to give yourself a chance.
All right, so back out on the floor. Coach Drew has drawn up how to get through this Dons press here in the timeout. And let's see how they execute it. McPherson wide open. Gets into the front court, right around Scott.
That wasn't what they wanted coming out of there.
And that'll be the 5th foul on DeWitt Scott, ending his night. Not the kind of shooting performance he would have liked. Just 2 of 7 from the floor. Only 5 points tonight.
Yeah, he'll see better games this year. It's an explosive player that, he's a young player. And, as a junior college transfer, he's going to come in here. We talked about meshing and learning the system. And you can't overstate that 2 games in, I think they've made an improvement from game 1. But I know this is one that if it does slip away, they're going to be frustrated about.
Well, definite improvement from game 1. Like you said, that is not even a question. The effort has been there, and right in this one all the way through, and they got that first miss that they needed. Now they need one more miss, and they could go down and get a 3, then you're back in business.
And this is a case where if you're Dane Fife, you want your players to have that look of we're not out of it, because even if McPherson hits it, which he does, it's only a 7-point game. but you got to score quick, and Valpo's going to make him take a little bit longer to get it up the floor.
Yeah, Perkins gets it in, kicks it out, and a quick foul, and that is not what you want to see.
Not a good foul at all. Homer Drew with his arms in the air. That's this one guy that has played a lot for him.
The coach. Tell you what, Coach Drew is a class act. It's been fun to watch him over here tonight, and been a good ball game throughout. You can see why he's had so much success.
Dane Pfeiffer, that look on his face, like that was a gift right there.
Yeah.
You know, when you can score with the clock not moving, that's a good thing.
And Perkins able to drop in. Nice game for Perkins. Only 2 of 6 shooting from the floor, but 8 solid points tonight.
And he's done a great job on the defensive end.
Dished out 4 assists a long way. No, I should say 3 assists. 5 rebounds, though. I mean, he's run the offense efficiently, and that's what he's being asked to do. This can cut it to 5, and he drops that one in as well. Need a turnover.
Yeah, they really need to force one. If they can do that, things have changed quickly. But now you have to foul once they get it across the 10-second line. And all of a sudden you get 3 on 1.
Gotta get the foul.
That's what you don't want.
Gotta get the foul.
You know, McPherson's not a bad guy to foul.
Igbavoa finally.
6 of 8 on the line.
They were able to run off 12 seconds there from the clock. And that is just going to send steam coming out the collar of Coach Fife.
You know, you practice those things in your practices. And, you know, it's very tough in a game, though, to do it effectively and to do it quick. Now you've got Savely coming back in. He's going to be your three-point gunner. And if they can knock one down, you know, but trading 3 for 2 is not going to get it done for him.
Next game for the Dons right up on Wednesday. Another home game against Rochester. You can see it here on my TV once again. And first one no good, but he gets 2 shots.
Yeah, that's where the double bonus will definitely hurt you.
We'll be doing 8 games here on my TV. All 3 this week. Catch us on Wednesday and then again on Sunday. Dons try to get their season off to a good start. He gets 1 of 2, does Igbavoa.
Just a 2-possession game. I mean, that's what you got to remember. And I think, you know, if you can get one quick one, you know, now you start thinking about a 3.
Yeah, at some point you need a 3. 30 seconds to go. And almost a steal. Savely comes up with it. He needs a 3. Pulls out and can't get it to go. Carruthers, rebound. Here's Lepper. Lepper's just got to shoot it. Carruthers heaves one.
From NBA.
No good. And time is going to run out on the Dons here. Just 13 seconds to go. And now Valpo walking down to the line. This one is all but done.
Yeah, and I think if you're IPFW, I mean, there are a lot of reasons you look to. First of all, they played a pretty solid game. You know, obviously there are a lot of things Coach Fife would put to. I mean, he feels this should have been a win, but 27-6 at the foul line. You get outscored by 21 at the foul line, and it's very difficult to win. Turnovers, they turned it over 15 times. A lot of the things we talked about, they did okay, but, you know, it just wasn't quite enough to get a win tonight.
Funny thing is, a lot of times when you see a team with so many fouls racked up against them, you can say bad positioning and a whole list of things that come to mind. Watching this particular game, it didn't feel like the Dons were anything but aggressive tonight as Lepper gets a nice quick lay-in.
I think they're going to be an exciting team to watch. I mean, I think clearly they need to gel, and this is a game that, you know, it's going to frustrate them for a while.
6.7 to go, still a 6-point game. And Coach Fife will have to go back to the drawing board and regroup his bunch in 48 hours. Come back for a game here on Wednesday. This team will drop to 0-2, but a game that is a winnable game on Wednesday evening with Rochester coming in.
Yeah, this Valpo team will be away basically all until Christmas. They've got just 2 home games. And like we talked about before, they're picked 4th in their conference, which, you know, a conference that includes Butler and a pretty solid conference that, you know, IPFW, a good measuring stick, but you can't overestimate that this is a game Dane Fife and his team thought they could win.
All right, here's Savely, and this will probably be the last possession of the game. Lepper can't go on the 3, and that is your final score, 75-67. Dons fall to 0-2 after what was a hard-fought, close game throughout. The Dons just couldn't come up with those couple of key buckets they needed coming down the stretch. We will take a break, come back, hope to be joined by assistant coach Jeff Tungate and talk a little bit more about this game. We'll go over the final stats as well. Stick around for the post-game show here on MyTV.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best. I made you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a thrilling 93-92 overtime victory over Huntington in an exhibition game, the men's basketball team plays its season opener Friday at Notre Dame. The Dons then have a busy homecoming week. They play their first home game Monday, November 13th against Valparaiso at the Coliseum at 7 p.m. Rochester College visits Wednesday the 15th at 7. Then the big homecoming game is Sunday, November 19th against intrastate rival Indiana State. The ball is in the air at 4 p.m. and the members of IPFW's new Hall of Fame will be introduced at halftime. The IPFW women tip off their season Saturday at the Gate Center against Toledo at 7 p.m. The women's volleyball team will carry an outstanding 23-10 record into the independent tournament Friday and Saturday at North Dakota State. Junior libero Peachy Jankowski received her 4th Independent Defensive Player of the Week award for her play in victories over Wright State and IUPUI. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Back to the Coliseum. Final score, Valpo 75, Mastodons 67. Assistant coach Jeff Tungate making his way over to us. Going to get some of his thoughts on this game and how it all shook out. Don's really in it right up until the very end. And just in the last few minutes kind of got away. And Coach hit the one thing that we talked about throughout. One of the things that just jumps off of the page at you is 31 made free throws compared to just 6 for you guys. Man, that's really the difference in the game.
Well, I tell you, the thing we've got to get better at, everything we do right tonight was from the three-point line. And when half your shots come from the three-point line, you live by the three, you're going to die by the three. Yep. And we've got to do a better job of getting to the basket. They did a good job taking away our inside game today and did a nice job of making Tyler kick it back out and giving him some tough things to try to score down low. So we've got to find a way to get to the basket, get a mid-range game going. And right now, QC is the only one we've got that can do that, and they did a pretty good job locking him down tonight.
When it comes to the performance by the bigs, when you go up against a team like the Crusaders who are so long, McLeod 7'1", and Igbavoa was a big guy. I mean, how do you go about trying to get those guys involved? Because it seemed like you were dumping it into Tyler. He just couldn't do anything with it once he got down there against McLeod.
Well, I think a big thing that he's got to work on, and you see right there of him fading away, and he hit that shot there, but early in the game, we've got to take it right at those big guys. We talk about on a block shot, there's only 3 things that can happen, and 2 of them are in our favor. Well, 1, they can foul us. 2, they can block out of bounds, we get the ball back, or 3, they do get it. And I think we've got to do a better job with single coverage in the post of just taking it right at them. If they block it, because there's 2 out of 3 are in our favor. And I think we rely too much on fading away and afraid of initiating that contact, and that's something we've got to improve on down there.
On the positive side, Zeljko Egerich, I mean, did you guys realize that he had the range? I mean, just amazing. 5 three-pointers out there tonight.
Yeah, he's really worked hard on his shot. He's taken a lot of shots before and after practice, really worked hard this summer and made himself into a real player. And if he continues to get better the way he's getting better, he's going to be a great addition all the way through this year and into next. I think he's just really changed his approach to the game, and he's really found a love for the game and worked hard in every aspect of it, and that's one area where he's really worked hard at.
Another player that we didn't see at all in the first half, but ended up having a great game in the second half was Drum Burrows. I mean, came out and really had some key offensive boards for you.
He really played well in that second half, and I know Coach Fife challenged him that the one time you don't go to the offensive glass, you're coming out, and he went every single time. That's what got him the minutes, and he knows his role and did a good job with that.
I know that one of the problems that Coach had going into this game, from the Huntington game, also from the Notre Dame game, the defense. Where did you feel like that was at compared to the first two games that you've seen this team out on the floor?
Well, obviously we foul too much. Now we're trying to increase our pressure a little bit more and climbing up into people, and we did a better job with that, and I thought we did a much better job in the post defensively than we have in the previous games. Still a long ways to go, but much better. But now on the perimeter, we're pressuring more and we're fouling too much. So now we've got to now our post defense was better. Now we've got to get our perimeter defense better as well. And, anytime you defend, you try to pressure and try to keep the ball in the lane, you've got to be able to do it without fouling. And anytime you let a team go to the line, 41 times, you're not going to win too many basketball games that way.
When it comes, though, to the team overall and how you're feeling after this loss compared to Friday night, I would think you're head and shoulders of where you were before. It seemed like the effort was much better, and this at least a loss that you can build on going into Rochester on Wednesday.
Well, the one thing that I was talking to Dane afterwards, we haven't learned how to win yet, and that's something that we really need to do. I mean, Valpo is a program that's won for so many years that they expect to win down the stretch, and we still have that, boy, I hope we can win down the stretch, and there's a big difference in that mindset and what it takes. I mean, when it came down to making a key play, they made it.
Yeah.
And every time it got to crunch time and we gave up a big three, then we come down and do something crazy on the offensive end. We've got to learn to win games, and that's just something that hopefully through experience and having a lot of close games that eventually we'll learn to do.
Well, I know you guys will continue to work at it. We'll watch you along the way and appreciate your time after the game. Final score, once again, 75-67. We're going to be back, talk over some of the final stats, and wrap this broadcast up when we come back. You're watching IPFW post-game show here on MyTV. Thanks.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a thrilling 93-92 overtime victory over Huntington in an exhibition game, the men's basketball team plays its season opener Friday at Notre Dame. The Dons then have a busy homecoming week. They play their first home game Monday, November 13th against Valparaiso at the Coliseum at 7 p.m. Rochester College visits Wednesday the 15th at 7. Then the big homecoming game is Sunday, November 19th against intrastate rival Indiana State. The ball is in the air at 4 p.m., and the members of IPFW's new Hall of Fame will be introduced at halftime. The IPFW women tip off their season Saturday at the Gate Center against Toledo at 7 p.m. The women's volleyball team will carry an outstanding 23-10 record into the independent tournament Friday and Saturday at North Dakota State. Junior libero Peachy Jankowski received her 4th Independent Defensive Player of the Week award for her play in victories over Wright State and IUPUI. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Welcome back to the Coliseum post-game show, 75-67. You see the final there. The Dons fall to 0-2 on the year with an 8-point loss to Valparaiso. Tommy Schegler with Ryan Elijah. Ryan, let's look at the stats here. A couple just absolutely jump off the page when you're looking.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, first you start with three-point percentage. I mean, you're 11 of 33. Look at the difference. Valpo shoots 9, and IPFW, over 3 times that at 33, but clearly free throws. I mean, when you're talking about 31 out of 41 attempted, and you lose by 25 at the foul line, and Jeff summed it up pretty well. Obviously, A, we can't foul that much, and B, we've got to be more aggressive. His big men, he felt, were fading away a little bit, and it's a really big difference. Turnovers-wise, I think they improved a lot from the Notre Dame game.
Also, looking at it, as you mentioned, the amount of threes, Coach Tungate saying, we're living by the 3 and dying by the 3, and that is not a way that you necessarily build a championship basketball team.
Well, look at IU basketball from last year. I mean, fans that have seen their teams play that way, you're going to have your nights where you're stroking it, but inevitably the laws of physics are going to catch up to you, and you shoot farther away, and it's tough. And you heard it in Jeff's voice. They take these very seriously. I mean, and it's a disappointing loss. And, who would have guessed, obviously, Huff, the leader there at 21, not a big surprise, but Egerick hitting his 17, and he said he knew he had a stroke, and that's going to be something that helps him.
He's worked very hard. We mentioned during the broadcast 20 pounds put on him in the offseason. And, while this may feel the same as they felt coming home from Notre Dame, an L is still an L, and 0-2 is still 0-2. There are definitely some positive things to build upon coming out of tonight. The defense, I felt, even though they definitely gave the Crusaders way too many trips to the line, you look at the rebounding, something that was a real problem against Notre Dame. And granted, Valpo's not Notre Dame, but they actually out-rebounded Valpo 38-36. So the effort is there, and now it's just a matter of having it all meld together.
Yeah, it did a lot better. It comes down to 1 or 2 possessions. And Coach Fife has talked about we got to have guys buy into the system. And even though IPFW has more seniors, Valpo's got a lot more tradition. And you got to remember, all of these guys have been in that program the entire time for Valpo. And they've been a Division I program for a while, where IPFW is really in the early stages. And some of these guys are still learning what it takes to get a win at the Division I level.
75-67, the final score here from the Coliseum. 8-point loss for the Dons. They fall to 0-2. Don't forget to stay with us here on MyTV for IPFW basketball throughout the regular season here. Next game is the next game for the Dons on Wednesday night against Rochester at 7 o'clock. Keep it here for all of your college basketball.
It's going to be an exciting team to watch. Keep an eye on this team.
Yeah,
they're going to start to play well.
Very fun team to watch, and make sure you tune over to Indiana's News Center on 21 Alive at 11. Check out Dean Pantazzi, his wrap-up and post-game coverage of this game. It's the best sports coverage in town. Once again, the final score, 75-67. The Dons fall in a close one here to the Crusaders of Valparaiso. For Ryan Elijah, I'm Tommy Schegler saying so long here from the Coliseum.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Pizza!
I must eat.
Wait, what is this? Capsicum anum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man.
Funny.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. Coming off a thrilling 93-92 overtime victory over Huntington in an exhibition game, the men's basketball team plays its season opener Friday at Notre Dame. The Dons then have a busy homecoming week. They play their first home game Monday, November 13th against Valparaiso at the Coliseum at 7 p.m. Rochester College visits Wednesday the 15th at 7. Then the big homecoming game is Sunday, November 19th against intrastate rival Indiana State. The ball is in the air at 4 p.m., and the members of IPFW's new Hall of Fame will be introduced at halftime. The IPFW women tip off their season Saturday at the Gate Center against Toledo at 7 p.m. The women's volleyball team will carry an outstanding 23-10 record into the independent tournament Friday and Saturday at North Dakota State. Junior libero Peachy Jankowski received her 4th Independent Defensive Player of the Week award for her play in victories over Wright State and IUPUI. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.